Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar Next Level CRM. Thank you for joining today. Okay, so let's just go through some introductions. So my name is Sam Connor and I'm a sales engineer here at Interface, and we're a Bitrix24 Gold partner. So we're based in the UK, in the US and Hong Kong. And what we do is we offer a full range of services to help you with Bitrix24. Starting off with pre-sale support, so we can discuss your requirements in detail and see if Bitrix would be a good fit for your business. If it is, we can implement the system for you and configure it to your specific requirements. If you're looking at a self-hosted edition, we offer hosting services and we can provide you with bespoke training and ongoing dedicated support. Okay, so you may have come to the Next Level CRM webinar today to understand more about what Bitrix24 is. So Bitrix24 is, in essence, it's a collaboration suite of in excess of 35 different tools that you can use to manage your business. And specifically today, we're going to be focusing on the CRM modules and marketing features. There are over 10 million customers now that use Bitrix around the world to help manage their businesses. And specifically, when we look at the CRM, it is voted within the top 10 CRM globally. So it is a very powerful CRM solution. And the system is available as a cloud and a self-hosted system. And prices start from $49 for a monthly cloud license. And if you're looking at a self-hosted system, the Business 50 edition starts off at $2,990 as a lifetime license. Okay, so today's webinar is Next Level CRM. So I think before we go into the CRM and look at the different features, it's important to understand some of the competitive advantages of the Bitrix24 CRM and why you should use this CRM system. So first of all, there's lots of integrations and automations. So we'll have a look at how we can integrate to generate leads in the system and how that links with the marketing automation tools. So there's lots of ways you can communicate with your customers through automation. It's very easy to capture and qualify leads, so we can see in a short while how you can customize your sales process directly inside the CRM system. We'll walk through and look at the different sales pipelines as well, so you can customize the different steps in terms of the different types of sales opportunities that you may have. And this gives you a great picture because all the integrations such as email, even telephony, it gives you a 360-degree picture of the activity with your customer. And this then allows you to monitor your team's effectiveness. So we'll look at the different types of reports and sales targets that you can run in the system. Okay, and the webinar today is going to be broken down into some different categories and topics. So first, we're going to look at the different ways you can use the tools in Bitrix to generate leads. And then we'll go through an overview of the CRM module in more detail. And then we'll do a thorough case study of going from a lead through to closing a sale and all of the steps in between. And then we'll have a look at the reporting features as well. So we'll have a look at the analytical features and how we can set targets, for example, for our team. So we'll go through those steps in the system. Okay, so just a question come through here. I say, hello, I have no sound. Just checking on our GoToMeeting webinar. The sound is coming through okay, so I'm not sure if that's an issue at your end if you want to try rejoining the webinar. If you do have any questions as we go through the session today, please do add them into the question box and we can run through those during the intervals in the webinar today. Okay, so the first area we're going to look at today is how you can generate leads using the tools in Bitrix24. So first of all, you can import leads manually. So you can use, say, for example, a CSV file, so you can bulk upload leads into their system. You could also use the live chat tool. So we're going to have a look at this in some more detail shortly, but you can have a live chat system on your website, for example, and if people message you through the live chat tool, that can automatically generate a brand new lead in your CRM. We have social networks, so for example, Facebook and Instagram integrations. So again, if people contact you through those channels, that can automatically generate you a lead. Very popular are CRM forms, so you can build out forms in Bitrix24, embed those onto your website. So very popular type is an inquiry form. And when people submit their details on that form, that can automatically generate a brand new lead inside the system. Moving on there to look at telephony. So you can integrate your telephone system into Bitrix24. And this allows you to manage calls directly in the software. And if a new number calls into the system, that can generate a brand new lead. So that's a really useful feature. Using the sites module here, we can build out our very own landing pages and websites. With this tool, this can then connect with other features such as CRM forms and the live chat tool. And that then allows you to integrate to generate brand new leads. So very popular using sites is if you maybe have a new marketing campaign, you can then personalize a landing page and send people to that page. And we can do that through the CRM marketing tool. So you can use the marketing tool to send out marketing campaigns, and those can be sent out to very targeted sections of your system to help qualify those leads. And the last way really is you can also manually enter a lead. So say, for example, if somebody passes you some details, you can also manually enter a lead into the system. Let's just take a look at some of those tools in more detail. So if we go into our Bitrix system, inside the contact center, this is where we can integrate with lots of different platforms and feed leads into the system. So for example, we can integrate our emails into Bitrix. So all of those two-way email communications, they can be fed into here. And Bitrix will match the email address with an address in the CRM. But if there is no email address associated to an entity in the CRM system, you can then automatically create a brand new lead. But we mentioned as well features such as live chat. So what you can do is you can create a live chat tool in the system. You can see here the 4 people who are responsible for dealing with any live chat requests. And what we can then do in the settings here is we can have this automatically create a brand new lead in the system if the contact is not already recognized in the system. So that's a really useful feature that you can run. And let's just have a look at that tool. So we've got our web page open here. You can see we've got our live chat system. So inside here, I could communicate with people in the back end within our Bitrix system if I have a question. Okay, so I can send that message into the system. And if we go back into our Bitrix system, you can see now that message has automatically come into our open channel system. So I can reply to that directly through Bitrix. That can generate a brand new lead in the system. Okay, so we can have that message. It's saved in the system. And again, if I just go back into our page, we can then see that message has come back. So it's really easy to then quickly communicate with potential customers in the system here. Another way we've mentioned is website forms. So this is a really useful feature if we go into the form builder section. So you can build multiple different types of forms inside here. So you can see the form here, so we can give it a title and a description. And these are now the fields that we have added into this form that we need the person to enter. So on the right-hand side here, this shows you all of the fields inside your CRM system. And this includes any custom fields. If you've got very specific data points you can add those to the form inside here. So if I want to add date of birth, for example, that's been added in here. I can change the layout. You can also add kind of conditions into here. So for example, you may say if the inquiry type is support, that could then show a selection of other fields underneath based on that criteria being selected. So you can put conditions on fields as well. And further down here, we can see who's going to be responsible for when that request comes in. And we can see here where that data is going to be saved in the CRM system. So for example, here we're going to save this as a lead. And so that will now automatically generate a brand new lead in the system when that form gets submitted. And you don't need to worry if you've already got a website. With any form you build in Bitrix, you get the embedding code. So you can then embed that information and it will then populate the form onto your website. Okay, and the other area we've mentioned as well is the marketing module. So within the marketing module, what you can do is, it's very similar to kind of other tools such as MailChimp, for example. This allows you to build out your very own marketing campaigns directly inside the system. So Bitrix has lots of templates that you can use. And I can go into here and I can, first of all, I can build out my campaign. So it uses drag and drop block technology. So it's very simple to drag and drop these blocks around. I can add my images and I can then preview what this looks like on a phone display, on a tablet device, and also on a desktop. So I can see how this is going to look for our potential customers. And I can send this out to everyone within our CRM system. But what you can also do is you can create specific segments. So for example, here I might want to send these out to all of the people based on a source of the lead, or maybe based on their inquiry type. So we looked at that in the CRM form. So maybe it goes to everyone who chose the support inquiry type. So you can send out very targeted marketing campaigns to try and generate more engagement with your potential leads. And once the campaign has been sent out, you can then see more analysis on the campaign itself. So first of all, you can see a recipient list, the status, if they've read or clicked, and you can actually also see a click map. So you'll be able to see where on the campaign your clients have actually clicked through. So you can see the views, the clicks, and all the heat map as well in there as well. So that's a look at some of the different ways we can generate tools inside the Bitrix system. As I say, if we do have any questions, we're coming to a break after the next section in the webinar. So please do add your questions into the question box and we'll run through those shortly on any area of the CRM system. So now let's have a look at an overview of the CRM module. So we'll have a look at the lead database, the company and contact area, and then we'll move on to look at deals and some of the quote and invoicing features of the system. Okay, so let's move into the CRM. So the Bitrix24 CRM system is now open here. So just to point out, first of all, across the top, you can see the headers for the different types of entities that we have in the CRM. So it's standard, first of all, in the system, we have leads. So here, this is your lead database. So this is where you can capture all of those different inquiries. And as we mentioned, these could be automated. So if somebody submits a web form, that can generate a brand new lead in the system here for you. And these leads in here, what we do in the lead database is you progress a lead through different stages. So you can see here, we can see the leads and what stage they're at. And these stages, they are fully customizable. So you could have as many or as few stages as you require. You can change the name, you can change the color and the terminology. So it can be completely customized to your specific lead qualification process. And at the top here, we've got a filtering tool. So you can filter, and it's a multiple search and filtering tool. So I might want to look at all of the leads based on a certain responsible person. and maybe based on what stages they're at. So you can create your own custom filters and free text search, and you can also save those filters here to drill down into those leads. In this database as well, you can customize the whole layout of this, and you can decide all of these are fields of information. So you can decide here which pieces of data you would like to show in the front end. We also have a slightly different way of viewing leads. So we also have the Kanban view. So here you can see the stages across the top, and what you can do is you can progress your lead through those different stages like so. And if we go into a lead, each lead has its own designated lead page. So on the left hand side, we can see all of the details about the lead. You can create custom fields. So if you wanted to capture very specific data and information, you can capture that information directly in the system here. You can create your own sections as well. So you might have certain fields in this section. So it's completely customizable, this left hand side, to how you want to display information, even down to the layout of the fields in each section. And then on the right hand side, we've got the activity stream area. So as we mentioned earlier on, for example, one thing you can do is integrate your emails into Bitrix24. So that then allows you to see, as a two-way integration, all of the email communications that have taken place with this lead. So we can see what's been read, what's been sent but not read yet, and any responses will be synced into here as well. And you can also add any notes into here. So if you wanted to, you could add maybe some notes about the lead. You can also attach documents and information. So really everything about this lead you would save in this lead page. So it's your entire database really for this lead. And you've got a filtering tool to drill down into any information as well. And one of the features that you have in both leads and deals is automation rules. So based on the stage of the lead, you can then create automated either actions for the responsible person or communications with the lead. So for example here, as soon as the lead comes in at the new lead stage, we're automatically sending out a thank you email to them, thanking them for their inquiry, and it's dynamically populated with their personal information. But you could customize this, so you could say maybe in, for example, 2 days, we're going to run this once they've been in that new lead stage and they're stayed in that stage. So you can customize exactly how quickly or how often these automations take place. So maybe we also say we're going to send a task to the responsible person. So you can see here some of the different types of automations we can do. We've got SMS messages. There are hundreds of different types of automations you can set up based on the stage the lead is at. And you can also create triggers. So a trigger will automatically update the stage that the lead is at. So for example, you may say if you send out an email with a link on there, if they click that link, then they're engaging with us. So we could automatically update them to the looking good stage, for example. So if we go into here and I go to the arrange meeting stage, you can now see a task is automatically being created that I now need to work on. Okay, so that's a look at leads in the system. And once you've progressed that lead and hopefully you've qualified it through those stages so it's a genuine opportunity we can work on, you can then save this as a different entity in the system. So for example, maybe we create a contact record and a deal. And a deal is where you close that sales opportunity. And when you do create a deal, you can segment that opportunity into a specific pipeline. So for example, here we have, this is based on geographical location, but you could do this based on the different products or services that you offer. So it's a way of segmenting your sales. And we'll see when we go into the analytics area later on, how you can then build your own dashboards and analysis for every single pipeline. And so that's then how we have our deals, contacts, and companies. So let's first of all go into the contact database. Okay, so here now, these are all of our contacts that we have in the system. Very similar functionality in terms of how customizable it is. So you can customize this layout. You've got a filtering tool at the top as well. And if we go into one of our contacts, again, you can bulk import contacts. So say for the first time, if you move to Bitrix24, we can import all of your existing data via CSV imports into here. So inside the contact page, again, on the left-hand side, you've got all of the details about the contacts. So we can see Mark Moon, and we can see what companies they're associated to. So you can associate a contact to multiple companies inside the system. And then on the right-hand side, you've got that activity stream log. So you can see here, for example, all of the information associated to this particular contact. You can see all of the information, such as the calls, any emails. So if you have integrated telephony, you can play those calls back.
We can forward.
So you have all of that history associated to your contact. And we'll have a look at deals shortly, but you can then link all of your deal opportunities, any quotes or invoices directly with the contact. If I just go into the company page, the company page is very similar in the structure. The key difference here is that you can associate multiple contacts with that company. Okay, and you can set permissions throughout all of the different areas of the CRM. So maybe you only want contact people to see the contacts that they are responsible for example. So whereas this is an administrator view, you can set permissions for the amount of information each person or role can see inside the CRM. Okay, and then that leads us on to deals, because deals link with your contacts and your companies. So deals is where you can segment your sales opportunities. So we said how you can have different pipelines. So here you can see all of those different pipelines. So we're currently in our UK office pipeline. So these are all the sales opportunities within the UK office. And all of this information, again, I can configure this here, for example, and these stages here that we've got for the UK office, again, are completely customizable. So you could have as many or as few stages here that you progress your sales opportunity through. And what's a really useful tool in the pipeline feature is that for every single pipeline you have, you can customize the stages and the automation rules for each pipeline. So this is our UK pipeline. But if I go into our USA pipeline, the stages are completely different, and so is the automation. So you may have very different processes for different maybe services that you offer, or maybe based on the different geographical locations you deal with. So every pipeline you can configure specifically to cater to your needs. Okay, and then within a deal, you can associate your contacts and companies. So we can see that Mark Moon we were looking at earlier on. They are associated to the deal, and everything about the sale can be saved inside here. So first, we've got the product catalog. So you can add your products and categories that you want to associate to this particular sale. And once you've got that product information, you can then generate quotes and invoices. So financial documents can be added into here. And when you do create those quotes, you can create your own personal stages here that you can progress your quotes through. And you can use the document generator to generate you the financial documents. But it could be any type of document inside here. So for example, here we've got the implementation for this deal. We brought through our template and our logo, and it's then populated with the information from the CRM system. So you can map data from the CRM into your documents. And you can then you could download this, you could send a public link, you could send an email. That can then go straight out to the customer. And once you've generated the quotes, you can then turn that through and into an invoice. So we can see where we're at now, what stage this invoice is at. And you have a quote and an invoice database. So you don't need to go into every single deal or customer to see all of the different documents. Here you can then see all of the invoices, for example, across the CRM system, and you can filter through any of this data as well and click into any of those invoices. And then we also have the analytics module. So we're going to have a look at this in more detail shortly, but all of the details and data that you have in the CRM system, it gets brought through into here. So you can then see full analysis really of all of the data and information that you have inside your CRM system. Okay, so before we go through the case study, let's just go through any questions that we have. Okay, so I'm new to Bitrix24 and have been trying to import contacts from Google. I export Google Contacts into a CSV when I try to import. Okay, so it sounds like you're having an issue when you're importing contacts. So I think it's important to understand, I mean, in terms of setting up the CRM system, there are quite a lot of different things you need to do correctly before it will work. And that's where it's really important to work with a partner like Interface who are very experienced in building the Bitrix24 CRM system to clients' requirements, because there are very specific things you need to do to get the system set up correctly. So when you're importing contacts, what you should first of all do is add all of the different custom fields that you have for your contacts. So we mentioned how you can create custom fields. You should add those custom fields first. And then what we would recommend is you can then download a CSV file of all of those fields, which you can then look to import into the system. So first of all, you need to make sure you create your custom fields first, and then import your information. That's probably where it's not quite gone to plan so far. Okay, so what's the difference between leads and contacts? So the key difference between leads and contacts is a lead is not yet a contact. For example, if I submitted an inquiry form to say I was interested in your product, that doesn't mean I'm a customer at that point. It simply means I'm interested to get more information about the products or your business. But what you first need to do is you need to qualify that inquiry to see if it's a genuine business opportunity. It may be actually that the products that they're after you don't sell, or maybe they don't have the budget, so it's simply not a genuine opportunity. So a lead is the lead section here with the stages is for you to qualify it and ask those questions to see if it is a genuine opportunity. So this lead section is simply for you to either qualify or disqualify those inquiries. And it's once you've done that qualification process, if it is a genuine opportunity, you could then create a contact record, because a contact is really someone who you either will be doing business with, or it has a very good opportunity of becoming a business with your jobs. So the lead section, it really is the area for you to qualify in or out your inquiries before you then move it into a contact. Okay, can I link the invoice with Quickbooks? So there is a third-party application that allows you to integrate with Quickbooks. So this is in the marketplace. So Bitrix24 has a marketplace which allows you to install third-party applications. And there is a third-party Quickbooks integration. So what you could do is you could try to install this into your Bitrix24 system. See if it gives you the functionality you require, because just to point out and to be clear, these are all third-party applications that are in the marketplace. So there isn't the possibility, say for ourselves here, to customize any third-party application. So you need to check if this will give you the functionality that you require. But what I can do, at the end I will send a link through for this. Okay, so Do we need to create contacts for all deals in order to send quotes to them via email, or just a standalone lead is enough? No, so they are completely different. So inside a deal, you have to associate a contact to the deal. A lead is completely different. A lead is nothing to do with the deal itself. So you convert a lead into a deal. So inside the deal here, if I go in to edit this particular deal, you can see in here I can either pull, in terms of client information, I can pull the company and I can pull the contact. So you have to have a contact entity inside the deal. Otherwise, you can't create a deal. It simply has to have that contact record inside the system. So when you mentioned about leads, well, what you would do is once you've qualified the lead, you would generate a contact and a deal from that lead. And that would then pull through the contacts into the deal itself. So everything will pull across. And all the information from the lead itself, that will be passed into the relevant entity you create. So if you say, for example, you moved a lead and created a contact, all of the history about the lead gets pulled into the contact record. So you still see all of that information. Okay, so can we create newsletters and send them as campaigns? So, I mean, within the marketing module, it's really up to you how you want to kind of build out a campaign. I don't see why not. In terms of you want to do a newsletter, then, I mean, first of all, you can just add your own custom HTML, or you could use some of the different types of templates that Bitrix24 has. And you can then build this out. So you've got different blocks here on the right-hand side. So it could be you just simply going to here and then add your text to build out a newsletter. I guess when you say newsletter, it's simply a type of campaign. So yeah, you could definitely use this as a way to build out a newsletter into the system. Okay, so is there a way to make the product field compulsory in the deal section before putting it as a one deal? So we'd have to check if it may be possible using the business process feature within the system where you could put a rule in place. What you could do is a very simple kind of workaround is if we just go back into a deal. What you can do on any custom fields that you create, you can make sure you can put a rule in place. So for example, we could say here, for example, actually, yeah, you can put a rule in place to make sure there is a value on the actual amount of the deal. So if the deal doesn't have a value in there, you can stop the deal from progressing past a specific stage. So you may say you can't go to the deal one stage until there is a value in your deal. So yeah, you want to go into here and configure the rules and put that based on what stage you don't want the deal to go past. Okay, so the next question, quite a few questions, which is good. So can I create a custom payment receipt with logo and a signature in a deal pipeline, preferably with automation? So again, we need to understand exactly how you want this to look, but what you can do is you can generate documents. So what you could do is you could add a template with your branding and receipt information. And then what you can do is you can map across any fields from in the system. So we would use this symbolic code and add this to your, say, receipt template document, and that would then populate in the system. And what you could do is you could run automation rules. So you could say maybe once the deal has been won, then what you could do is you could generate the CRM document. So you could come into here and then choose your, for example, your receipt document, and it would then generate you that document automatically. So yeah, that's something that you can do. And these are different areas we can train you on and provide ongoing support to help you with these. Okay, I think the last question for now, can we use or import a template from Canva or another software? So I'm not sure quite what Canva is, so if you can send over more details, but can we import, I mean, you can import via a CSV file, or if you're wanting to integrate data from another piece of software, then that will be possible with an on-premise edition. So we can use the API to actually connect the Bitrix24 CRM system with another piece of software. We've done that for quite a few clients. We have some clients who like to integrate Bitrix with their finance systems, so we can feed information from either in Bitrix or from another piece of software as either a one-way or as a two-way integration using the API. So if that's something you're wanting to do, or if you're interested in, we can definitely look at to see how that integration would work. Okay, so moving on now, we're going to have a look at a case study. So really go through the entire process now of actually generating a lead in the system, going through the different stages to generate a deal, make a contact record, and then look at how we can communicate with the contact directly through those different processes and generate a financial document to close and win the sale. Okay, so let's just go out of the CRM for now. So we mentioned how there's different ways you can generate your leads in the system. One way is through web forms, as an example. So we've got a form here, and we can then submit our information. And these forms, they can then be used to generate you those leads inside your CRM system. Okay, so if we go into here, we can now see 8 seconds ago that form was submitted, and it created a brand new lead inside our CRM system. Okay, so you can see now it's brought through that information. We could have a rule in place here as well, so rather than having to manually update this lead, you could also have that done automatically. So we brought through that information from the form, and you can see the automation rule that we discussed earlier on has automatically sent out a thank you email to them. So that's already happened inside the system. So we've sent that out. So we're going to move this now to the arrange a meeting step. So I've now got a task to arrange a meeting. So let's go into our meeting area. So I'm going to check my calendar so I can see where I would be available for this meeting. Okay, so we're going to schedule that meeting in the system. That will get added to my calendar. So within Bitrix, you have your own personal calendar where all of your tasks and events are routed into. So I've scheduled that in the system. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to send them a blank email here. So I'm going to use one of our, rather than automation, I'm going to send them an actual manual email. But what you can also do is you can create templates as well, so you can quickly populate information if you wanted to. Okay, so let's just change this. Okay, so we can send that out through the system, and all of this gets logged in the system as well. So you can see the full history here. You can see who's responsible for dealing with this. So let's say we've had that meeting and we're going to go through to the next steps. The requirements are good and they're wanting to engage with us. So I'm going to move this through now to this final stage. And maybe at this point you may have a link on an email which can automatically trigger the lead to update. But now let's complete this lead. So I've had a meeting with them. We've discussed the requirements and that they have budget. So we can now turn this into a one lead and convert this into a different type of entity. So for this, I've got their details. So I'm going to create a contact record and a deal. And because we're going to create a deal, I'm going to actually choose a pipeline to segment this opportunity into. So let's save that in the UK pipeline. Okay, and so that's how you can then create those different entities inside the system. So we can see now it's generated that deal inside the system. And I mentioned how you can then automatically create the contact. So you can see here, it's brought through that contact record. Because we created a contact and a deal, it's automatically connected the two together. So if I go into the deals in this Sam Connor contact, it's linked them together. So that's how you can manage the difference between leads and your contacts. So we can go back into the deal. And I now know what Sam is interested in. So I'm going to select the products from our product catalog. So you can create your own different types of categories inside here. Okay, so you can have different types. So we've got subscriptions, for example. I'm just going to change the name of the deal. Okay, so I'm going to add some notes as well. Okay, so we're going to go through here. We've outlined the steps here. We're going to send out now a financial document. So now we've added our product information. We now need to generate a quote that we can send out to Sam. So this is where everything gets linked together. So here you can see it's brought through that product information. It's brought through the customer details. And so from here, I can then generate the document. So this is the financial quote. So you can, as I say, upload as many different types of documents as you like. It's not just a quote or an invoice generation here. It maybe you want to upload maybe a contract, and we could pull information from the CRM to generate a contract record. You can see here in this quote, I have brought through the product information, it's brought through the contact record, and I'm now going to send this out to the customer via an email. Okay, and you can see it's been attached, so let's send that out. Okay, so now we're currently waiting on the clients for their feedback. So the quote's been sent. So I can go back into the deal, and we can see if we go into the quote, we can see what stage we're at in the system. Let's say they've now approved that. So I can go into there. It will update inside the quote as well. So even from here, if you wanted to, what we can do is then automatically go through here and then generate the invoice. Okay, and again, it's brought through all that detail. And then you can move this to different stages as and when you need to inside the system. Okay, and then let's move this through. The quote was approved. And let's now say this has been marked as paid by the finance team. So we can change who's responsible for this. And let's close this deal as one. So if we go into the contact, everything that we have done inside that deal, it is linked inside the contacts page. So the full history and communication, the deal that's been marked, the quotes, and the invoice is all linked inside the customer's page. So that's really useful. You may have a customer that has maybe lots of different sales opportunities. All of that information will be linked directly with your contacts. You don't need to go into, say, the invoice database or into each deal. Everything will be synced back with your contacts. So that's why you do link contacts and companies with your deals. Okay, and let's just see if we have more questions. Okay, no more questions for now. Please do add any questions into the question box after the reporting section. We can go through those. Okay, so to look at the different types of reporting features available in Bitrix24 CRM, there's really not one area for reporting. It's available in lots of different areas. of the module. So let's just take a look at some of those inside the system. Okay, so for both leads and deals, first of all, you have what we call this list view. And this list view, you can customize this whole layout. You can create your own filters. And this data can then be exported out of the system. So it could be, this is really the first area where you can customize what data is displaying in here, and then you can export it. A second way is using the Kanban view. So in here, if you've got values associated to your deals, you can then see what value you have at each step in the sales process. And when you progress a lead, it will automatically update to that stage. So that's really useful for forecasting inside the system. We also have the analytics module. So this will pull all of the data that you have in your CRM system and feed this into here so you can build your own dashboard for reports. Another, I think, really nice feature, you can set sales targets. So based on the amount of closing sales they win, this can then update to see how well they're performing. You also have your own personal areas, so you can set up your own, say, activity dashboards, and you can set dashboards for every single deal that you have inside the system. And we've got our sales funnel as well, so you can see how well we're closing and converting our sales opportunities. You can choose your date period, so maybe we want to look at all of last year's sales results for certain pipelines. So you can customize and build your own dashboards for reporting as well. And then we've also got the report wizard. So what this allows you to do is you can build your very own reports from scratch. So inside here, you can select which area of Bitrix you would like to report on. And then what you do is you give the report a name and a description. So you can see in here, if we add this, you can choose your reporting period. And then you add all of the different fields for this report. And this includes any custom fields that you create as well. So it really can be personalized to what you want it to be. Then once you've added your fields and columns, you can then create a filter. And last but not least, you can also add a chart into here to give it a graphical display. And once that's done, you can create the report. What you can also do that's available for you is you can share it with other people inside your system. Okay. Okay, so we just had another question come through. Does the website integrate with the CRM system? So in terms of integrations, this is where, as we mentioned about the different types of lead generation tools. So you can integrate website forms onto your website. And when people then submit their details on that form, it can automatically feed into the CRM. You can integrate live chat tools, and those can then allow for communications directly from your website into the system. In terms of a kind of bespoke integrations, we can use the API or webhooks. If you want to say, if a customer orders on your site, we could then do a custom integration so it generates a deal inside the CRM system. We've done that for clients before. So we just need some more information as to exactly how you want to integrate. Okay, so in terms of the different types of lead generation sources, you can see all of those in the contact center here. So, I mean, we've not got time to go through every single one, but you can see these are the different types. So through email, telephony, website forms, you can see here the different tools that you can use to generate leads. Okay, can we add an IDX? Sorry, can you just elaborate on what IDX is referring to? Okay. Okay, moving on to just look at some of the differences between the cloud and the self-hosted. So both the cloud and self-hosted include lead deals, invoicing, and reporting, and you can customize the layout of the record. So we've mentioned how you can create different sections, so you can do that on both of those. And both include automation channels. With the self-hosted, it is possible to fully customize and also to integrate with other systems and advanced processes. So for example, if we just go back into the CRM, for quite a few clients, what we've done is we actually rename the terminology. So, for example, some people want to rename deals to jobs, for example, or rename contacts to, it could be a different type of terminology. So maybe patients, for example. With the on-premise system, we have that customization to be able to do that. And another feature, for example, quite a new feature we've added to the CRM for the on-premise is a sales map. So inside here, what we have is a brand new feature for the on-premise as a plugin that we can apply. So this shows you some of the advanced level customizations you can do with an on-premise system. So here we can see the deals, but actually on a map display. So we can add an address record or coordinates. And then based on that, we can then see the deals based on a visual map display. So this could be really useful for your field sales teams, and when they're planning out their day, they may want to group their sales into maybe their geographical locations or focus on maybe high opportunities. So you can look at and create your own filters. So for example, here for every deal, we've given them a probability. So actually I might want to just focus on the deals that have a probability greater than 50%. And I can see where they are on the map. So I can plan out my data, focus on those really good opportunities in our deal database. So this is a plugin we've developed called the Sales Map, and this is available not just in deals, but it can be on leads and contacts and companies. So we can install this into an on-premise system if this is a feature that you may be interested in, and it just goes to show you the capability of an on-premise edition of Bitrix. Okay, so in summary today, we've looked at the ability to generate leads through lots of different tools, including website forms, live chats, the CRM marketing module where you can build out your own marketing campaigns. And then we've seen how we can automate processes for our staff, but also communications with our potential customers and our contacts using lead and deal automation. And we've seen how we can communicate through multiple channels. So as we mentioned, live chats, Facebook or Instagram, SMS, so we can integrate with Twilio, and also through email and telephony. I think really importantly, we've seen how within deals, how you can connect, not just for deals, but quotes and invoicing and notes and emails. In the contact page, it gives you a 360-degree view of what is taking place with your customers. And that's so critical. And then we've seen some of the forecasting and reporting tools. And then, as we've just seen right at the end there, the sales map, how we can build customizations within the CRM system. Okay, so coming soon, here are a selection of the up-and-coming webinars. So next, it is Better Business Processes. So I hope you're able to join us for that webinar. So we're here at 11 a.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. If you've got any further questions before next week's webinar, or if there's any areas of the CRM system you would like some help with, then please do email sales@intraface.com, and we'll be happy to set up a meeting to discuss your requirements in some more detail. If you need any training or if you need ongoing support for using and just getting more use out of the Bitrix CRM, that's another service that we are able to offer. We will be sending out the recording of this, and we will be posting this to our YouTube channel. So please don't worry if you have missed any of the webinars today. I just want to thank you for your time today, and hopefully you'll be able to join next week for Better Business Processes. Thanks. Bye.